So, welcome to part 2 of my ghost stories. So, I volunteered to relamp my home church in Connecticut several years ago, just at the start of the pandemic. And I spent many trips back and forth to the church, changing light bulbs, changing fixtures, etc. Growing up in this church, I had never heard of any encounters or ghost stories or hauntings or anything going on. The church itself was built about 1902, but the Parish House was built in 1887. And with the first trip and every subsequent trip there, I heard more and more ghost stories about this building. Former members who kind of were a handyman appearing, being sensed, being heard, especially in the cellar, in the workshop of the Parish House. Former pastors being seen, the industrialist who built the church being seen walking around the church with a stovepipe hat. Again, I had never seen or heard or experienced any of these growing up. And now I know there's at least 5 spirits people have told me about in this church. So this particular trip was day 2. Day 1 also had some crazy stories, but I'm going to make a separate, longer video for that one. This one, day 2, I was there. It was Christmas Eve day, and I was going to change some fixtures we had missed the day before. So I was basically finishing up. So I was in the building by myself. I was let in, and got the ladder, went upstairs to the top floor of the Sunday school building. There were 3 ceiling fixtures I was going to change because they didn't really work anymore. So get the ladder. I've got the new fixtures. Climb the ladder. Put the new fixture without the glass on the paint step, and I changed the first fixture off the ceiling, no problem. Move to the second fixture, same thing, change the fixture, no problem. I get to the third fixture, put the new fixture, the bowl, upside down on the paint step. I have 2 2-inch screws I put on the top ladder, since I need those to mount it to the ceiling. And I go up to the top of the ladder, start removing the fixture from the ceiling, take the lens off, and then suddenly I feel a poke right here in my chest, and then I hear a ding, 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 ding. So I look down, and one of the screws was now rolling around inside the fixture. The other screw was sitting exactly where I had left it. Now, mind you, I was not shaking the ladder, no sudden movements, just reaching up, taking off the fixture. So I said, okay, whoever you are, please don't bother me. This has to get done today. I need to drive home tomorrow. Finished up the fixture, no problem. Crisis averted. So then I move into one of the Sunday school rooms, and there are fluorescent lights on the ceiling, and I had to change the tubes in a few fixtures. So I set up, lights are out, never turn them on, switches are taped down, I'm the only one there. Climb up the ladder, take the lens off the first fixture, start to take the tubes out. Then to my right, the fixture 6 feet away on the ceiling, flash, 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 flash. The bulbs flash on and off by themselves about 5 or 6 times. So I look over there, look back, and just at this point, my patience is getting very thin. I just said, do not mess with the electricity while I am working on the light fixtures, please. This needs to get done today. So stopped, go about changing the tubes. Then I move the ladder to the fixture that was flashing, take that one apart. As soon as I take the tubes out of there, the light I just did, flash, 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 flash. Mind you, the power had never been on. So again, I say, look, I said do not mess with the electricity. This needs to get done today. Stop it right now. I'm a little unsettled. I don't need to be electrocuted on a ladder in a building by myself. Finish that one, move to the fixture in the corner about 20 feet away, and go up again, take the lens, take the tubes out, and then I noticed flash, 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 flash from the fixture 20 feet away over by the doorway, the only door in and out. And again, at this point, my patience was gone. I start screaming. I said, stop it. Do not mess with the electricity. Leave me alone. This needs to get done. Stop it. Stop it right now. So I finished up that fixture, folded up the ladder, and granted, even with all my experiences, I was still a little unsettled by that one. Electric, you don't mess with electricity. So then I went downstairs to the kitchen with the light over one of the dishwashers had burnt out, and I set up the ladder there. Lights are out. I can't work with the lights on. Turn off the lights. They were already off. Put my headlight on. Go up the ladder. Take the lens off. Start taking the tubes out. I bend down to put them on the counter below me. And as soon as I bend down to place them in the doorway to the auditorium, again, it's dark, but the auditorium had some light coming in through the stained glass windows. So it was a little bit twilighty. I look over, all of a sudden this black shadow figure pokes its head in around the door and it's just staring. This black outline, solid black. When they say darker than dark, they mean it, because it was already dark in this room. The only features were 2 white dots for eyes and a thin white line for a mouth. And I stop, look at it, and of course my patience is wearing thin at this point. I'm already fed up from what happened upstairs. And I just stare at it and say, who are you? What do you want? What are you doing here? Why are you in my church on Christmas Eve day? Why are you here? I just sat there and I stared at it with a little bit of anger. And it sat there for about 10 more seconds and it disappeared back through the doorway. I'm like, good, scram, don't come back here. I need to get this done. You're not going to bother me. So I go about changing the tubes, fix the light fixture, 5-10 minutes. I bend down to pick up the lens again from the counter. And as soon as I bend down, doorway's right there. Boom, there's that black shadow figure back in the doorway again with the 2 white dots for eyes and a thin white line for a mouth. So again, I just stop, stare at it. I said, what did I just tell you? You need to leave. Do not bother me. It's Christmas Eve day in a church. Nothing evil is allowed in here. And stared it down, and it sat there for about 30 seconds this time, and then finally disappeared. So I put the lens back up, finish up, get off the ladder, go into the auditorium, and of course nothing's there. I said, scram, don't ever come back again. Whether that works or not, I don't know, but I was pretty ticked off at this point. So I fold up the ladder, take the extra lights back to a meeting room behind the kitchen, and open up the door. And as soon as I walked in, quick whiff, I smell a cigar very clearly. And mind you, they have not smoked in that room for at least 50 years. They don't smoke in there now. And after 2 seconds, the smell disappeared, went back to its normal room smell. So I just shook my head, said, I need to get out of here. It's time, I'm done. Put the ladder away, put the bulbs away, locked everything up, and I promptly left the building. So I met several of the ghosts. So far, we've counted about 5 different spirits in that place, if you include the shadow figure. But more tales for later. My next encounter the following year had some doozies.